A lot of people have the swing speed to hit the ball pretty far, but are still not breaking 90. And that comes down to a few things I'm going to point out to you in this video to help you get under 90, regardless of what distance you hit the ball. I'm going to be using my REDTIGER rangefinder to shoot to my target so I get the ball in position. 14-degree driver, mini driver by TaylorMade. I'm just going to set this one up. I expect a little fader. We don't want double chips. If you chip, you get it on the green. If you're on the green, no 3 putts. We don't want balls in hazards. We don't want balls OB. So we're going to try keep the ball away from danger as our priority number 1, especially and mainly off the tee. My final big rule is not to overpower any shot. Every single shot when you break 90 should be easy, because you're not going to smash the ball as far as you can to try hit these hero pro shots, because you don't have to. From here, with my REDTIGER rangefinder, 172. So because we're blocked out on the right side, we have to go left. So I shoot that person up there with my rangefinder. They're 183 away, the pin's 172 away. If I hit it to the worker there with a 170-yard shot, I'm going to have a pitch up the green. If you do hit a big slice, you can take the shot on. If you don't, up at the worker, 20 yards short of them. One of the things I see the most with people trying to break 90 is they're using so much loft. They're hitting a 60-degree, 56-degree, and they're trying to land the ball at the hole. If you hit the ball decent distance and you feel like you hit it far enough to break 90, and you're not, this is probably one of the biggest areas you can start shaving shots, because you're either losing golf balls off the tee, or you're duffing a lot of shots with your iron game and have no distance control, or more than likely the short game is costing you a lot of shots. So the easiest way to get better at the short game around the greens, regardless of the lie you're on, is to use toe down chipping. I say it all the time, and the reason is because it keeps the ball low. And with toe down chipping, you get closer to the ball and you pick the handle up, and you use your putting stroke and your putting grip to just stroke the ball as if it's a long putt off the toe of the club. The toe of the club removes a lot of the bounce and adds some loft to the golf club, and that way you get a lot of consistency if you try to get it just off the dead side of the toe. Now, I haven't played golf in a couple of weeks, and that's just how easy toe down chipping is. When you look at these things online, when you're looking up how to score better, you're going to find something called Decade by Steve Fawcett. Now, Decade is based on strokes gained. So what Simon Fawcett did in the Decade system for elite golfers, keyword elite, college players plus handicappers, regional players, professionals, mini tour players. On the tee, do you have 65 yards between one penalizable hazard and the other? 65 yards. Then you hit the driver if you have 65 or more. That's for elite golfers who hit the ball around 300 yards. If you hit the ball 300 yards, your dispersion is 65 yards, which is 22% of the distance you hit the ball. We are not elite. We're not doing 22%, right? It will change as your swing speed lowers and the loft of your club increases. But let's say a standard driver and you're hitting the ball 250, what's your deviation going to be? Let's say 30%. 250 yards at 30% means that we need 75 yards of space from one hazard to the other. If you hit the ball in the trees on this golf course, it's gone. You have to re-tee. So that means, as I always advocate on this course, not to hit the driver so much where people lose their minds because it looks so wide open. If you miss the fairway, you're dead. We have 70 yards up there at 250 yards. With a 21-degree loft club in hand, we have much less chance of big variation in dispersion. We just aim for our shot shape, dead at that tree. And look at that. We've hit that, according to the REDTIGER rangefinder, accurate from 5 to 1,000 yards. We've hit that ball to 250 yards to the hole. The big temptation here is to bring out your biggest fairway wood and give it a rip. But very rarely do we hit a ball an extra 20 yards, extra 30 yards with our club, especially off the fairway. That we have to remove that temptation. It pinches in left, it pinches in right. How much is it to that bush where it pinches in? 148. And 156. So I don't want to hit a club that goes less than 160. I want to hit a 160 club, so even if I tug it, it goes beyond those trees or beyond that place where it pinches in there. So I'm going to hit my 7-wood here, and instead of trying to muscle an iron up there, I just give myself a really good chance with a confidential fairway wood, maybe 7-wood, maybe 9-wood, all very good options for breaking 90. Something that a lot of people do is get married to one club. They feel like inside 100, the only thing you should use is your sand wedge or your lob wedge, whatever it is. I learned this from PGA Tour golf on the PlayStation when I played Tiger Woods golf, and they would give you a pitching wedge from like 75 yards. I kept changing it to sand wedge. Like, why are you doing that? Until I started using that club on the video game, and then I took it to the course. I was like, hang on, I can use a pitching wedge for pitch shots? There we go, we're on the green. We're using a pitching wedge and not a sand wedge. Well, I made it. I did. Caddy, what I love about the Red Tiger rangefinder is the magnetic hold on the side here. You can stick it on the cart. You can use the belt clip they provide for you. It's absolutely money. Less than 110, 120 bucks, usually under 100. I mean, there's no better value on the market, and I've used a lot of rangefinders. When we're trying to break 90 and we have 180 yard par 3s, we have to understand that they're just par 4s. It's a very difficult hole. From here, I can see a humongous part of the green there, and that's at about 165 to 175 yards. So let's hit a club that goes between 160 with a bad strike to 175 with a good strike. Use your distance ranges. You should know them by now. If you don't know them, you're not going to break 90. You need the distance range of each club. So if you're trying to break 90 and you hit it a long way, distance is not actually correlated with score. Strike is correlated to score. Strike, more shots off the sweet spot of the club face with a better technique, makes the ball fly further with the same swing speed and less dispersion left and right. And that lack of dispersion is actually what creates better scores. It's not about the distance. The distance is a byproduct of better strike and better dispersion. And one of the easiest ways to get better dispersion, to focus on contact, is just to not hit the ball so hard. And that can help you to just get the ball in play instead of trying to muscle everything, which is stopping you from breaking 90. Now, over here you need situational awareness to know which one to pick. I could do a putt because it's flat here, not much slope, no valleys, no troughs, nothing like that. Then we go onto the green, which is a tier at the top, downhill, and the pin is cut on the downhill, like on the slope. So if you leave it short of the pin, you're still putting all the way down the slope. If you miss the hole, you're going past the hole anyway. The best thing we can do to eliminate those two shots is just go past the hole initially to leave the uphill putt. Just give it a little bash. Here we go. Maybe we make it. Maybe we don't. But you can see, I want to tell you about the opportunity here on hole 16. At the 250 yard mark, we have 64 yards between the water on the left and the bunker on the right. I don't want to be in that bunker on the right because it's a shot over water. Who wants to have a fairway bunker shot over water to the green? We're just wasting our opportunity. So we're going to take the 7 wood. And this is the message. I'm not saying don't ever hit driver. I'm saying, according to the experts, mathematically you shouldn't be hitting driver. And I've always just said it because I know I can see it's going to get me in danger here because I've been playing golf so long. Now you have a mathematical equation. So we're going to hit the 7 wood and we're going to account for our shot shape. Little draw or straight, so we're going to hit it straight down the middle of the fairway and hopefully finish straight or left edge. Maybe you have a fairway wood, 7 or 9 wood, that you're going to hit well. These are the easiest fairway woods. Forget the 3 wood. 3 wood versus driver is a terrible argument. 15 degrees is no easier to hit than a 10-degree driver. Now the Red Tiger rangefinder is absolutely money. USB charging, so you don't have to keep changing batteries. You just charge it up, and I've only charged it once and it's lasted me, I don't know, 30, 40 rounds already without losing power. The other thing I love about it is it has slope, so you can switch slope on and off. Beautiful. I mean, you're not going to get better than this. The other thing I like is the bullseye is really small, so you can pick up your target from a very long way out, 300 plus yards, with the pin with your Red Tiger rangefinder. What I'm going to do is move my ball for you just to emulate your course maybe. And one of the things you're going to find on your course is the same as that lie in the fairway where you're sitting down on a little depression and you didn't notice and you hit a shit shot. It happens around the green too, and it's an even easier fix. And you can see it's just sitting right down there, little hollow, tiny hollow. It's not much, but it's enough to destroy your game. So to fix this situation, we don't putt it either, because if you putt it, it's going to like hit the rim of the little depression, boop, and pop up, and probably you're going to leave it 6-7 foot short. The best thing you can do chipping is to use toe down chipping from any dodgy lie. I would recommend it from all lies, so you never have to question it. Toe down works for dodgy lies. Dodgy lie, toe down. We take our iron, we bring the heel up, we use our putting grip, and we just use the toe of the club to get that ball out of that little depression. The putts inside 5 feet, 6 feet are going to be insanely important. The more you hold putts, the more confidential you feel. The more confidential you feel, the more confidentiality you take to the next tee to play that hole really well. Now, big surprise on this hole, when I looked at the map, at 250 yards from this tee, I only have 57 yards of space. That seemed crazy to me. So it looks like the widest hole on the course to me, and this is where I usually pump driver. And this is where the numbers help you a certain way, but the look and feel of a hole help you another way. I smash driver down here every time. I've never lost a golf ball down here. This is my most confident driving hole. Now I've only got 57 yards wide, one of the narrowest on the course. So I'm going to hit the driver anyway, and let's see what happens. I need to hit this ball 147 yards onto an upslope to clear the water in front of me. Do I have that shot? I really don't. If I'm trying to break 90, you don't have the shot. You have to tilt your shoulders and swing up the slope, trying not to fall back. You're going to hit it high in the air, the wind's going to hit it and dump you in the water. The easier solution is just to go left with a little chippy shot, get us back in play for our approach into the green. Remember, we only have to hit this in 4 shots. We can go maximum 122 yards down that way. So we're going to chip a pitching wedge down there. Pitching. Now, this is all about situational awareness. You got to know that you can't hit that shot over the water. You got to keep it left, and then you understand this is a 4-shot hole. You just change the outlook of the hole instead of getting tense. Oh, I'm not going to be attacking. I'm such a loser. Well, we're trying to break 90. And we've chipped this one straight down the fairway there, and now we have our 3rd shot, easy game. We found ourselves in one of these lies, maybe an old divot. You can see how it just goes back into this depression in the ground. What I'm going to do is take 2 or 3 clubs more than usual again and find a place where it's going to be safest. I don't want to go over the longest part of the bunker here because I might trash it in that bunker. The most important thing is to clear this water and not go in the bunker because we want to have a nice easy 4th shot in. So I'm going to take 2 or 3 clubs more than normal and hit a chip shot way right of the green, open up the green for me to chip on. Get it on the green. You know, we want to avoid double chips, so get it on the green. You might leave yourself a 10-footer, a 12-footer, 3-footer, doesn't matter. We've left ourselves about a 15-footer, and we understand the expectations. To break 90, you don't need to focus on your putts made inside 10 feet. No, you need to focus on your putts made inside 6 feet. That's where you're going to leave your chips to, your pitches to, your bunker shots to a lot of the time, your second putts inside 6 feet. 15-footers, don't worry about it. It's just about pace control. Pros, 15-footers probably are making 1 out of 8, 1 out of 10. As long as we can just get the pace control perfect to this. And just secure our bogey, see? And then because we're confidential inside 6 feet, we know we can just put it away. And please, this is not just a low handicap thing. This is not some special thing reserved for elite members of society. Any dingleberry can get good at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foot putts and get the distance control on anything longer than 10 feet. Anybody, even my dead granny. When you're hitting an approach shot, we have to take the big shizer out of play. This hole is a very tough approach shot. We have a very narrow entrance to the green, and on the left is just thick grass balls gone and wilder. If you go in the wilder, you've got to take a drop ski, you're dunzos. And over the back, you also got wilder. Then we have a deep ass bunker on the right where you're hitting the bunker shot towards that exact same water. So what's the best play here? The best play here is short. Anything from 175 down to about 120 yards to have a pitch up the green. Just take the club that feels so sensual that it makes you want to. I just want to take that bunker out of play on the right. I can't reach it, and I want to leave myself a beautiful pitch. I'm accepting a 30-yard, 40-yard pitch onto the green. Come on, let's go smooth. We don't have to overpower anything. Let's find a nice small target in a big landing area into Texas. Come on, Texas. Remember, this is situational awareness. If there's no danger up there, you have to take on the 175-yard shot. But in this hole, we have a red light danger. It's screaming at me, don't screw it up. And look, I understand, this is not attacking golf. This is not PGA Tour golf. You're not on the PGA Tour. We're trying to get under 90. What you have to worry about is double chips, 3 putts, keeping the ball in play, no OB, no hazards. Then what you have to do is find out where to miss the greens. Then what you have to do is get the ball on the green and then not 3-putt. It's just that simple. And yes, it sounds simple, and it's difficult to do only because in your mind you don't have the emotional control to stick to it for 18 holes or 4.5 hours. Work on that first. 35, 40-yard pitch. Take a 56-degree, titties to the target. And look at that. We just get it on the green somewhere. The hole starts at the tee. And the most important thing when you're trying to break 90 is actually not distance. It's just getting the ball in play first time instead of taking drops. A lot of people lose most of their shots on the tee because they're trying to hit the ball too hard, number one, and they're using too low loft and a club that's too difficult. That's why I recommend the mini driver, 14 degrees. If you play a 10-degree drive and you're pretty good with it, of course you have to keep playing it. But make sure the ball goes in play. If that club's not going to work, you have to gear down to something less. The more loft you have, the less the dispersion right and left, the more chance of getting the ball in play. Yes, it may disperse right and left, but often it doesn't reach the big trouble. The big club often reaches the big trouble because the architect puts the big trouble there. So here we have about the closest to the 30% of the dispersion of our distance. This is about as close as we're going to get to that 30% mark to be able to justify a driver. We've got 71 yards, 72 yards here between the left bush and the right farm. So this one should be a confidential shot, and it feels pretty good. But you see, every now and then you're going to put one way out right, even when you have so much space. That's how it goes. So that means we have to hit another ball, and that's when people get very angry. What you have to do is take your medicine and go, you know what, I'm not going to fall into that trap and destroy my score because it's mathematically correct. I'm not feeling confidential on this hole, so I'll do what I should have done in the first place. I'll take my penalty, which usually works out to be about 2 shots by the end of the hole. And next time I play, I'll hit this club first instead of the driver. Because you're going to have confidential shots over non-confidential shots, regardless of what the mathematics says, as a break 90 player, you are working on emotion. I do love my REDTIGER rangefinder. It's got beautiful yards and meters. It's got continuous scan mode. It's got horizontal and vertical measuring. It's got a speed measurement. Just absolutely money. Now I'm hitting my 4th shot from 190. This could have just been my first. So from here, we're going to hit our 7-wood or our 200-yard shot up there. Just a little bit of situational awareness is going to help you a lot here. When you know where the pin is cut, you can adjust your expectations and the kind of shot you're going to play. This pin is cut so close to the front of the green here that we call this the short siding. So when you have a lot of green beyond the pin, don't get greedy, get assertive, guillotic, get it on the green. So we want to go actually a little further and try to land this at the hole or beyond the hole. So that's on the green for sure. It's not always going to work out 100%. You might be further back, let's say here 12 feet, 14 feet. I've put myself to about 7 feet, 6.5 feet. I have like a maybe 50-50 chance of making this putt. So if we keep doing that, we give ourselves good 50-50 chances. As long as we take our 6, maximum 7, and GTFO out of this hole. Didn't make it. We take our 7, and this is the key part right now. Do not lose your shit. It's one hole. You've played 6, you screwed up your 7th. And now you've got another freaking 11 to go. Don't spoil it over one hole. Okay, Stinky Winky, on this hole we have 62 yards from the edge of that bunker. You don't want to be on that bunker on the right because it's a bunker shot fully over the bunker, over water. It's a terrible shot if you're trying to break 90. You don't have the skill for it. And on the left we've got water, we have a cart path. So between the cart path and the edge of that bunker we've got 62 yards at the 250 yard mark. We're going to go to our next club. What's the dispersion percentage of a higher lofted club? I don't know, but I can guarantee it's a lot less than a driver. And when you take your clubs, you have to understand your shot shape with each club and pick a good aiming spot. I can't see the right side of the hole, so I'm going to aim to what I can see, which is a big ass tree in the distance. And I hope for a little draw ski here. If it doesn't come and it goes straight, that's good. We're going middle left of this fairway. And we've hit it so high, and it's in the fairway, and we don't care. In play, we've got 200 yards left, and that is not going to be ideal because you see it as a short hole, you see it as an attack hole, but you don't see the danger around you. It's dreadful. It's actually not an easy hole. So we take this as a bogey hole, and we go give ourselves the best chance. I'm taking a 9-wood, the pin's back left, and if I can leave it on the front right, I have a long putt or a long chip. Easy game. We only need to hit it in 3 shots. Come on. If that shot is a chip, we're happy. If that shot is a pitch, we're also happy. Look, I mean, I may have holed that. I was aiming to the right edge and it's gone dead at the pin. 9-wood. Get yourself a 9-wood, girls. Everyone in the 90s has some great shots they can hit. I refuse to believe that 90 to 100 shooters are hackers who just duff shots every hole and screw up every shot. That's a beginner. That's someone who's shooting 110 plus. I know you have the good shots in you. I know you do because I play with 90 to 100 shooters all the time. Every 2 weeks I take someone out on the course and I show them how to break 90 because they have shots they know how to hit, but they don't think those shots are good enough. But I give them permission to be themselves. And giving yourself permission to be yourself is one of the first things you need to play better golf, to understand it's your game. Come on, Matty. We might have a chance. Oh! And every now and then, a blind squirrel finds an acorn. Be very, very careful when you're listening to people talk about golf. When we talk about par 5s as an opportunity, that's for people who are kind of expert golfers because they can hit 2 shots beautifully, 3 shots beautifully. When we're trying to break 90, we're hitting 4 mediocre shots to get to the green. That's the fact of the matter. It's actually a defense hole. You're not attacking. Attack holes are more like short par 4s, short par 3s where we have an advantage. On a par 5, especially into the wind like this with water on it, we're not attacking this hole. We just want to make a 6 here. It's the most difficult on the course, and we have 61 yards of space there before we hit the trees versus the water on the left. So I can't hit the 250 yard club because the dispersion is too high. So I'm going to hit myself a hybrid up there to get the ball in play. Because once I hit this shot, I've only got to hit the green in 3 more. I hope it's a chip, I hope it's a pitch, or I hope it's a wedge into the green. We've got 290 to the hole according to the REDTIGER rangefinder. If you are highly confidential, you can get past that tree at 130 yards and get the ball in the fairway. If you're not, we're just going to play this very clever. So we're going to keep this short of 130 and we're going to hit a little chippy 140 yard club. I've blocked myself out of getting to the green. I'm probably only about like 190 yards, but I've blocked myself out of the green. So what we do is we hit this ball to a place we want to pitch from. We want to have, for me, a 100-yard shot. I like it. Do you like 80? Do you like 90? It's up to you. And we take this tree completely out of play by hitting it over the right side of the tree. We don't take the tree on. And just like that, terrible strike. And you know what? I'm going to have my shot into the green that I really want. When you're trying to break 90 and you have trouble short, go long, go to the back edge. I've got 100 yards here to the middle of the green. I'm just going to play the middle to back of the green. I'm not going to try to get this at the hole. See, my stroke is all over the place because I haven't played, and so I missed them. But we know 2 putts from there is a pretty damn good result in general. Here's a couple nuggets of gold right here. Just save this in your memory bank. Pick the shot you can hit 9 out of 10 times. If you're not hitting that shot, stop and use the shot you can. Even if it's not the shot that's going to reach the hole. That's key. It doesn't matter about reaching the hole. Here we can go left to 160, 165. Can you hit that shot? No? Okay. We go to 140 in the fairway left with a pitch up the green. Can you do that? 2 stress-free shots in a row? Of course you can. That's the 9 out of 10 shot. It may not be glamorous, but that's what we're talking about. The next thing we have is that if you have the distance to go for this hole at 170, we don't go at the pin unless, you know, we are highly skilled, which means we're probably breaking 80. We go between the pin and the fat edge. You see the pin is on the right, so you have short side on the right side. That's where the pin is far from the edge of the, or close to the edge of the green, the closest it can be. The furthest edge is on the left. So if we aim between the left edge and the pin, that's a great aiming point to just get this ball on the green, especially if we hit a fader. If we hit a draw, maybe we need to start it a bit closer to the pin. So let's go just between the left edge and the pin as our aiming point. We look at that point before we hit. Don't get caught and trapped by the pin. Look at your spot in the middle of the green. And you see we miss on the left side, the safe side. That's always going to do better for you than missing on the short side and putting it in the bunker. Now we have a stress-free chip up the green. Yeah, we have a 9-iron. Probably not the best situation to actually use it, but we're going to be aggressive. Toe down chipping. We put it up on the left there onto the downslope, and then it just rolls down like that, you know. I didn't even think much on that. Why? Because toe down chipping is so freaking easy. All the data and analysis in the world can only bring you so far. But when you understand this is a mental and emotional game, it also brings you the reality that confidence is the 15th club in your bag. This hole is not actually a driver hole. If we look at the distance between the hazards and at the 250 yard mark, we only have 62 yards. But I feel confidential here that it looks wide open enough and that I feel I can get a good shot going. That's confidence. It's a 15th club in your bag. And there we go. I've hit a great shot despite the fact that the mathematics says I shouldn't. The red tiger is telling me 120 up the hill, but up the hill and a little bit of a breeze into us. Come on guys, we want to break 90. We have to start taking into account elevation. So when we hit it up, 121 is probably playing 126. Into the breeze playing another 5 yards, 130 yards. If you hit a 120 club, you're going to be finishing 10 yards short of the pin, which can be in the water. So we want to make sure we clear the water. We've taken into account wind, we've taken into account the elevation. And sometimes we get lucky. You are going to get lucky when you try to break 90 because you have so many good shots in you from that glimpse you've once had where you went par for 6, 7 holes in a row. You went level par for 12 holes and you thought this is it. And then you put in your mind the wheels are going to fall off. No, we want to achieve the glimpse every hole. Get out of your own way. Stop making excuses to live up to the poor expectations you put in your own brain because you want to fail. But you know, a 2-putt's a great result. On this hole, I didn't realize how tight it was until I looked at Google Earth to see it's 42 yards of playable area at 250 yard shot. So before I always advocated for no driver here. Now it's even more secure and more concrete that I shouldn't be hitting driver here. I'm going to hit the hybrid up there. We understand this is a long ass hole, maybe 440 yards or something crazy like that. It's a long par 4. We're playing it as a par 5. Oh, look at that. Right down the center. We have 227 yards to the hole. Down to the water's edge that runs across the fairway, we probably have about 130 yards. So we don't want to go over 130. So we have no choice. We have to lay up short of 130 to leave ourselves a wedge or something inside 120 onto the green. We've left ourselves 140, not ideal. We could have done better. Let's focus on this shot. Hitting our 140 yard shot, not at the pin, just to the left of the pin between the fat edge and the hole. Look, I don't want to get gimmicky here because people get very upset if you don't play the way they expect you to play. But the reality is that a 185-yard shot over water is very difficult for anybody to get an accurate handle on clearing the water and not getting in the bunker and staying in a dispersion that doesn't push you into the water, which actually comes around on the right side, bringing it more into play. So I'm going to do the crazy thing here. Every golf course should really have a layup area short of the water. So I'm going to show you what happens if you really, really struggle with this and you don't want to lose a ball. Now this is not the ideal way to play a par 3, but it's the dry way. We've got about 70 yards left and we're just going to hit this on the green, secure the 2-putt. Not bad, not bad. Okay. When you do have a bit of power, you're going to have to learn to pitch the ball because you're going to hit the ball into positions where you have like 175, 180, 160 into the green. You're not going to lay that up to 100 yards. You're just not going to do it unless you have serious danger. So what I did there is I left the ball short of this bunker, in the opening to the green to maximize my chance at the 4 and guarantee a 5. Going in these bunkers, never fun, never guaranteed. And we have water on the left here. Other times there's no danger, you go for it. This time I left it a bit short, which means you have to work on your pitch shots. Take a pitching wedge, take a sand wedge, take a gap wedge, get half a swing, and just find the distance of all 3 clubs with the exact same half swing. You now have 3 pitch shots to use when you get yourself in this position. This is the first hole where we actually hit 75 yards at 250. We also can reach the water at 250 at the right edge of that dispersion range. So we want to keep this well left and expect to fade, hopefully. So I'm going to go up the middle left of the fairway. Hopefully it fades in. If it doesn't and go a little left, we're still in play. Well, I've hit a beauty off the toe, and the math tells you to do something. The comfort says one thing. I like to go with the comfort and the confidence that I can commit to rather than just being like numbers only, and then it doesn't work and you blame yourself. You have to know yourself and play your own game. So I've left myself 140 here. You may leave yourself 140 into the holes a lot and then screw it up. The reason you're doing that is because you're trying to keep the image in your mind of the golfer you think you are. You cannot outplay your self-perception. You cannot play better than that. If you feel like you're going to throw it away, the wheels are going to fall off, you're going to chunk it after a great drive, you are going to do it because your brain will not let you exceed your expectations. Club up, swing easy. So I'm going to hit my 150-yard club here. Look at that, so relaxed. Probably right next to the hole. Absolute money. Just chill out, take a more club, hit it softer. This is only 69 yards wide at the 250 yard zone. It's not mathematically correct, but I feel this is very wide for me and I'm not going to reach the really bad danger that I can see. When I see it, I feel more confidential, I feel more commitment, I feel more comfortable, and I can hit the shot. So I'm going to hit the driver here, even though the mathematics say it's wrong, and my own brain will tell me that I don't really need to hit it because I'm not going for this hole in 2. Most people trying to break 90. If you're going for a par 5 in 2, it better be with a second shot under 180 yards. Anything else, you're kind of screwing your game up. You just don't have the shots. So we have to accept we don't have the shots and just go with the flow. And that's in the middle of the fairway. I'm not going for it in two anyway. Let's get it to a great wedge position, get it on the green. We've got 288 left according to the Red Tiger rangefinder. Absolutely money, even from freaking nearly 300 yards. Not much better than that for 100 bucks. But what we want to know is how we're going to get the ball from here stress-free to a place that's going to give us another stress-free shot. So this bunker in front of us is 152 to clear. So whatever I hit from here has to clear this bunker 152. So I'm going to take my 165 yard club and Red Tiger rangefinder to the rescue, 111 yards uphill, playing 117 yards. So we have to hit a 120 yard club. So we hit our 130 club and take an easy ass swing like a mother lover. Pitching. Do, 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 do. See, look at this. You don't ever have to hit the ball hard when you're trying to break 90. And if you take that with you on the golf course, you're going to hit easier shots, more stress-free shots. When you pick the one, you can do 9 out of 10 times. When you do that, you get more stress-free. And when you get more stress-free, you just play good. You get in the zone. So we're going to hit the 130 club, and we're going to just take it real easy up there. Little fader. Let's say outside of 5 feet, you can 2-putt everything. Inside of 5 feet, you can 1-putt 8 out of 10 times. Man, you're going to slash 90 easy. Breaking 100 can be very stressful to most mother lovers because you get a plan and you really have to stick to that plan without losing completely your mind. You hardly have any shots, so you have to stick to the plan even if you have a 10 on a hole. You just keep sticking to it. It's quite stressful. Breaking 90 should be the most relaxing of all the barriers to break because you never have to hit the ball hard, and by this time if you're shooting in the 90s you probably have all the shots to shoot mid 80s. You just have to use them, and the more you use your shots that you have, the more relaxed you get, the better your swing gets, the better your contact gets, the better your aiming gets, and the better your understanding gets because now you relax instead of stressed. So I'm going to hit the 9-wood here from about 192.
That's like the easiest
and
thing
I've never seen the
Why do
pin
I
on this
carry a
hole
4-iron?
on the left hand side. So for me it's really
When
cool.
we
Try break 90, we only have to get out of the bunker, just get out in one. And this is how you do it. There's many videos I've done on this. You play off the front foot, you put 60-70% of your weight in your left side, and you open the club face up and then grip it while it's open. Don't flip it open with your wrists. Open it to 1-2 o'clock, grip it while it's open. Play it off the front foot, 60-70% of your weight in your left side, and we're going to skim it through the sand. We're not going to chip it. We're going to skim it, hitting 1 inch behind the ball with the sole of the club, actually slicing under the ball, and it flies out on a tuft of sand. And follow through, don't give up. Like that. So you have to follow through, don't quit on it, and don't try chip it, because every now and then you'll chip one real good and you'll say that works. The other 9 out of 10 times you teeth it straight into the bank here, get out in one shot, you're breaking 90. And it's not our day today with a putter, first day back after a few weeks, but if we can 2-putt everything, I promise you're going to break 90 if you follow what I've told you the whole way around this course. That's how you break 90. There's no arguments. If you have any problem with it, you can email me at suckmyass@youarewrong.com. Otherwise, you can check out this video over here if you want to break 90 harder, faster, and more often. Easy game.